What's good, everybody? We're now in the mix. It's your big dog here, Six Shot Town's finest, Carlton, your dig, and your girl Leah, aka the therapist. This is episode 103, ladies and gentlemen. We in the mix, man, and October is quickly coming to an end. So, for all the Halloween fanatics out there, you have Halloween to look forward to come next week. Before we got on here, we were just talking about the movie Halloween that just dropped. And, I'm a Halloween fanatic. I love horror movies. Team here loves horror movies.
We had that in common. Wow.
I was not really a fan of the movie. C here, I guess he was a fan of it.
I mean, it wasn't as terrible as I felt like people was making it seem.
Well, scale from 1 to 10.
So, scale from 1 to 10, maybe a 6.5 or 7.
6.5, 7? That's passing. I ain't even gonna front. I gave it a 2.
Dang, that's a big difference. Sorry, I can't, do the medium range here, but I didn't see it. But maybe I could watch it and come back and give my rating so we can even this out a bit for the average.
We should have went to see it as a team though.
You know what we
gonna pull up.
No, see, that is actually a great idea.
Something like that, she will pull up for.
Yeah, I'm going for that. See, why you say that last week? We could do something as a team together.
You know what? I should have said that. Especially because I love Halloween.
So is another movie that's coming out that we all can see together?
Not no time soon.
How do you know?
Horror movie?
No, just any movie. That mean we're all down for movies.
I don't know. I mean, they drop everything on Peacock now.
It's still about the experience.
Did they drop Halloween on Peacock?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah, I watched that shit on
Peacock. It's about the
Peacock.
experience. I still like to go to the movies.
Okay.
Nah, movies is cool though. I miss going to the movies.
Yeah.
My favorite part
we
going
can
to the
definitely
movies,
do that.
I think that'd be cool.
My favorite part about going to the movies is when you sneak in your own snacks.
So you do that, bro?
You got to.
You got to. Because some folks out here be thinking, that's not okay. And listen, if we on a date, look, bring your biggest purse possible. We're going to stash the food, the snacks. We're going to have a great time. Leah, what you think about that? You like that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, see it. For those that try to frown upon that, kick rocks.
Say less. So when we go as a team, she got to bring the purse. So Archon Classic could bring the purse that she probably made with her own 2 hands.
Yeah, you already know. You already know. We in there, man.
Yeah. How was your weekend?
My weekend was good. Weekend was cool.
Weekend was cool.
Yeah, I actually had a good weekend, man. Shout out to my bro Trav, man. He invited me to New York for this networking event. It was actually like a pop-up shop kind of at Shopify through Bleacher Report. And I had a chance to meet Knicks legend John Starks, who was very cool actually, like very down to earth, very chill, very country. I will say that, got a country accent, but extremely cool, man. It was pretty dope. So shout out to him. I was able to do some networking there as well. So stay in the mix for that. But yeah, man, it was really cool. Nice little day trip to go up there and then come back Sunday. Made it back in time for church. And then surprisingly, the damn Steelers won, y'all.
I know.
I couldn't believe it. And yet again, the Ravens blow another lead to lose.
Yeah, what's going on? I mean, I'm not really understanding what's happening.
I'm understanding, and I understand what's happening.
What's happening? Why don't you break it down? I don't know. I'll just be hearing about it.
It's the mother-loving play calling, man.
So
everybody is hip now. At this point, if Lamar has to carry that team with his legs, teams are seeing that. Granted, you can't stop the kid. Like he's just a beast. He's just that type of talent.
So
then you can't stop
your point, then people are going to say if people are on his legs, then he got to throw. Is
but,
he going?
I mean, can his receivers catch? I mean, do we?
It's a whole team sport, so.
Yeah, it is.
But we not going to just place the blame. We not just going to place the blame on the offense because clearly that defense isn't doing anything. You got to remember too. This was a depleted defense last year, right? And majority of those players are back healthy, and they have no excuse. You got
to look at the play calling in this situation.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because when you're capable and it's still not getting done,
mm-hmm.
you got to look at the play calling.
Yes, indeed.
Something got to happen at the bank.
Hey, listen, that's why for me, when I look at the Steelers, we have too much talent on the offense for us to look as shitty as we do. It starts with the play calling. It's Matt Canada. I don't understand how he's been an offensive coordinator for us for the last 3-4 seasons. He's trash. Mike Tomlin has to realize that. We have to draft better talent. You know, I look at some of the talent that other players have, other teams have, and I'm just like, yo, that should be us. I just tweeted the other day, we have not had a premier top tier cornerback that we have drafted since 1987. Damn. You know who that was?
Who?
Rod Woodson. 1987.
You know yep.
I wasn't even thought about yet.
Yeah, that was a long ass time ago.
1987. That's crazy. That's crazy.
She about to graduate high school right now.
Facts.
Actually, I can't even pull him in it. See, it's usually him. I gotta say, I hate you right now.
That was too easy.
Why you gotta be nice with it with your hate? Like,
yeah, because he don't usually be doing that, so I gotta be like, but now I gotta give you all the heat today. You gonna be off? I said you off the hook.
Keep that same energy, because if it was me, it'd have been, you know what? I'm gonna give you an F you. F you. She don't even want to say that to you.
Because you, no, C's my friend.
Watch when we get off air. She'll be like, C, I cannot believe you. Why are you gonna do me like this? Listen, y'all, I tell you, man.
Wait, what was the year? 1987?
Yeah. Damn, you.
I was the one that shut up.
You were?
Yeah, I was.
I'm surprised.
Y'all so annoying. See, we just had a moment. You just messed it up.
Who had a moment?
Because you wasn't in the same heat with him. Nah. I took you off. The frying pan.
Listen, man, you know we always got to give a shout out to the sponsors, man. Rich King brand, as y'all can see, he rocking right here. And of course, Wind the Clock, man. You know, continue to support black-owned businesses like always, man. Let me ask y'all a question before we jump into anything. First, of course, you know, we got to acknowledge So Effing Classy, who has a birthday coming up. Not only does she have a birthday coming up, but you know, Halloween is coming up. And we usually get into the Halloween festivities, of course, and whatnot. Who are you all looking to be for Halloween this year?
Who, if I were going somewhere, who?
Well, I mean, not you, because you're you year round.
I wasn't on Ghostbusters 2 years ago. Don't play me like that. Hey, I'm trying to play somebody.
Nah, she didn't get it. Yeah. It's all good.
Oh, you know what? I got it. Man.
I don't know. So I did just buy an authentic Michael Myers replica mask, but I don't know if I want to be that. It's real simple. Even though I do really like that mask. So I don't know. Give me a little moment to think on that.
Yeah, you know, I'm debating because it's crazy that you said that, because I've been looking on Amazon because I'm either debating between Michael Myers myself,
right, or
Waldo. Where's Waldo? I think I might go with the Where's Waldo. So whenever, because I think it would be real cool too, because you know, if I catch people taking pics and whatnot, I could just like ease my way into the crowd, so that if I know you and I see, I'm gonna just be like, "Where's Waldo?"
Yeah, where am I?
Yeah. I'm gonna just tag myself in everybody's pics to where I see the beanie hat and all of that. So yeah, I think I might do that, man. You know, I think it'll be
shirt.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think it's gonna be fun. Who you gonna be?
I don't know. I have to really think on that. I have no idea who I want to be for Halloween. I don't know. Y'all got any ideas?
You gonna see.
No, you know I'm not asking you.
Why you not gonna ask me?
Actually, see, no, because you start off wrong. I can ask Aaron. I ain't asking you one of y'all.
Crazy.
Aaron, can you make me a costume? Why not?
I don't have time.
Oh yeah, my fault, y'all. She booked and busy.
Oh, you are. What's going on? I mean, she has her birthday party coming up this weekend.
Hell yeah. Yeah. That should be a great time. Great time, man. So look, you know, we got shop talk for y'all, man. I feel as though this is a shop talk discussion that we have to have. Unfortunately, I know 2 episodes ago, it was kind of like pay it no mind.
Yeah, don't really want to keep paying it no mind.
We still standing on that. Because you really don't have to pay these things no mind. But
it's kind of like, you know, we have to adjust.
Oh, no, in this case, yes, we do. But in general, I agree with that.
Yeah. Definitely pay that man no mind.
We're going to explain what we mean.
But yeah, man, so I'm gonna go ahead without further ado, as y'all already know. I'm going to turn things over to your boy, Chi-Town Spot, Carlton, your day. Let them get the quick introduction like always. And that's all I got to say.
Okay, so check this out. over here we do this thing, right? I keep them clippers to them heads. I keep them ears to them streets. And then after that, I keep them ears to them streets while I keep them clippers to them heads. So, y'all know what's been buzzing, what's been going on out here. Kanye West is back in the news again. He just had his third Drink Champs. Drink Champs Part 3 with Nori.
Episodes that man.
The crazy part is the first one was 2 parts because it was that long. This one was fairly short compared to the first 2. It was like 45 minutes. But yeah, man. So what's been going around? People was upset about some comments that he made, that they say he made about George Floyd. Also, he was in the news recently because they said he had some anti-Semitic remarks towards Jewish people. And this was all after the White Lives Matter thing, right? So now we got to break this down into 2 parts. I'm gonna break it down into 2 parts. The first part is about Kanye saying wild shit, weird shit, crazy shit, whatever. You know? And kind of like the same way we addressed it last time. You can choose to not pay it no mind. Like you can absolutely choose to not pay it no mind.
Right.
And so from that, you know, it's a lot of people that need to hear that, so I'm gonna say it again.
I'm putting it actually right now. I'm about to put this right to this person.
She's about to put it right there to this person.
If you choose to simply just not pay it.
You can absolutely pay it no mind because Kanye being who he is, Kanye being as big as he is, the more you choose to entertain the things that he say, the more you add fuel to this tirade of, you know, stuff that's going on just about him in the news. You know what I'm saying?
My fault to cut you off right quick. You know what's funny? Because you don't hear about this person as much. Why? Because we don't entertain them. That rainbow-headed character.
Yeah.
We don't hear much about him. Why? Because we don't pay that rat no attention. We don't pay him any mind.
So
I carry on, bro. I just had to throw that out.
That's a good example. And so to that point, like I said, you can't pay him no mind. And now from that, because we know he does a lot of crazy stuff. My whole thing about Kanye West is his delivery of his overall point. I think he fails at that a lot.
Yeah.
Because at some point later on, you might hear him explain it in a way that might make a little bit more sense. And then you can be like, well, if that's what the fuck you meant, how the hell did you end up doing this?
Yeah, because Kanye is not a dumb person.
At all.
He's
actually quite intelligent, I think.
Extremely intelligent. To a point to where he might have you sit there and question exactly, like you want to have an in-depth conversation with him to see why he may feel that way. And like you said, he'll later break it down and be like, okay, I'm actually meant it this way. But I feel as though when it comes to these interviews, I think Kanye knows exactly what he's doing. I feel like he knows what's going to ruffle everyone's feathers, and then later on try to break it down like, yo, this is exactly what I meant. And I feel as though because he's so intelligent that a lot of that, the way he'll break something down with how he views it, and others may not see it that way because of the way his delivery is.
He's very autistic.
Yeah.
Everything that he does.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you have to really stop, listen to it again before you just immediately react.
Yeah. So to that point, now we can get into the other 3 points. We established that you can choose to not pay him no mind. We know that his delivery and the points that he tries to make is poor oftentimes. I honestly don't think he cares that much about his delivery as much as he cares about the overall point, which you might not get until the damage has already been done. Which I feel like that's a part of his overall goal too, doing the damage and then being like, see, this is what the fuck I was trying to tell y'all at some point. So now, first thing I want to address is, I know y'all heard about Chase, JP Morgan and Chase pretty much dropping him as a client.
Yes.
It's like they essentially took his bank account from him, kicked him out of their bank. So a lot of people were just like, yeah, see, I mean, that's what happened when you talk about Jewish people. You shouldn't have said nothing. And then some people was like, that's not alarming to y'all? The fact that he said what he said, but this is an institution like a bank.
Yeah.
And they pretty much removed him as a client to their bank, and people are kind of okay with that. For one, because people feel sour about Kanye West, as they often do. For 2, they're just like, well, you said something about Jewish people, and the Jewish people own it, so that's what you get. They can do that. But then I'm like, if that's allowable, imagine what type of other shit that can open the door for also being allowed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If y'all can kick Kanye out and his Yeezy brand, like y'all can kick Ye out of y'all bank, and then everybody's like, that's cool, it can kick anybody else out for any other reason they choose to also. And I think for something as big as a bank institution in this country, I don't think that is something that should be possible in the way that they did it.
Yeah, I think now for something like that, it's definitely crazy because I feel as though the amount of, and again, I wish black folks, like we owned as much as, you know, Jewish and white folks out here, because we be able to give them motherfuckers the boot just like that. But it's crazy that they were able to do that though. I think that's a bit extreme to say.
So I'm saying,
for him to be removed from the bank as a client. I mean, granted, I'm sure he'll be able to get to another bank,
which he probably already has.
So let me just say this. So yeah, and by all means, we are not agreeing with what Kanye says, right? I think people probably think we like hate him, but for all these other celebrities who did far worse, I'm sure their banks still kept them around. All the like predators, rapists, and all that. So I don't know. I probably just feel like he's just an easy target. I do.
He is an easy target, and also to the point that you're making, that's also why I say it's like a slippery slope, because it's like we can look at the anti-Semitic remarks that he made was, I don't have the quote for it, but essentially it just seemed like he was saying that Jewish people run a whole lot of shit. Like they're in charge of a whole lot of shit, and there's no way to go around this power structure that he always talks about without going through them. And essentially, if y'all watch the Drink Champs with Nori, he was saying that was like his overall point in doing the White Lives Matter thing. And he was just like, you know, he did the White Lives Matter thing because he's like, you know, white lives matter in the sense of everything is about white lives. Jewish people, they are white lives. That's what he's talking about. So he's like, if I say white lives matter, everybody's going to get into a whole uproar. Cool. But y'all know I'm not wrong. I'm not saying that the same way that, you know, I guess some white people will feel about black people saying black lives matter. Like you almost diminishing one over the other when you say whatever. And he's just like, no, I'm just saying it because they do matter. And then I'm afterwards saying that this is what I meant. Jewish people run all of this shit. And then as soon as that happened, the Jewish people kind of showed what he was saying. They're like, yeah, you know, we can kick you out of our bank if we want. We can pull you from our platforms if we want. And he was just like,
they did just that, and y'all proved my point.
Yeah, and so that's why he was just like, this is exactly what I was talking about. The power structure that he's trying to attack. You cannot go through that structure without addressing these Jewish people and stuff. So that's why, from that though, like you said, if you're going to remove people from your bank for that,
because you don't want to be affiliated,
exactly.
Which is okay, fine. If JP Morgan can do what they want,
but
establishment.
And so to that point though, that's why I was like, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
I don't agree with it either, but I'm just making a point, like, if you're going to do that to Kanye, you need to do it to everybody else you don't want to be affiliated with all the other bands.
And that's exactly
that's my point.
Yeah, I'm sure y'all affiliated with rapists out here and all of that shit.
We didn't hear about Harvey Weinstein and all the other guys, so I'm like, why is he the only one that's being attacked like this? That's what I don't like. And I think when we question that, not to cut you off, but I feel like when we say that, it's like we can't for you. By all means, we're not agreeing with some of the things he says, but I just think that he's the only one that we see get punished like this. People have done far worse, and it's like we just hear crickets, you know. So I feel like if one establishment is going to say, hey, we don't want to be affiliated for the comments or the remarks that you said, that needs to be for everybody. We don't want to be affiliated with you because you rape children or whatever the case may be.
Right.
I'm just saying, it needs to be across the board.
And so to that point, that's why I was saying that I don't think it's fair enough for them to do that. Like, yeah, they are their institution. You can feel however you want, but when you have something as grand as a bank institution in this country, you can't just be like, we don't want you to have you as if it's like a super private institution like that, as if that should be like legal for such a grand institution. Like a bank like JP Morgan and Chase is one of the biggest banks in this country.
Yeah, very true.
And then like, so that shit is just kind of, it's kind of weird. Like I said, Kanye's execution of his overall points is poor. If this was the point, if the way that he did the White Lives Matter shit without even like, I mean, I guess sometimes you got to go through a fire to get to another type of point, whatever. But it seems to be the way that he operates now. So now, moving on from that point to the next point about the George Floyd.
Which I want to say, because I'll just say something on it, but I'll let you get into it.
So I'm gonna give the people an overall thing real quick, but in the Nori Drink Champs again, Kanye was kind of speaking about how I guess some of the stuff to do with the way that George Floyd died was falsified, but it also seemed like he did make reference to Candace Owens' documentary about the George Floyd thing. So some of the stuff that he said, it didn't seem like it was his own opinion. It seemed like he was just explaining what the documentary said. But I mean, the way that the media spent it, you could have thought that was what he said. And then honestly, it's enough to make you question if him saying that was what he wanted to say, if he was referencing it. I mean, just once you put that into question, it's just like, oh, was it this or was it that?
Right.
But if you listen to, me personally, when I first heard it, I thought he was just referencing the Candace Owens documentary. But then people were like, no, that's him saying that, and I'm just like, I don't know. And honestly, I don't even think we'll.
I think it was like parts where he was referencing. I think he kind of inserted his own opinions in some other parts of the.
But which parts would be?
Yeah, which parts we don't know. Like I said, I don't know. When I heard him say he wasn't on his knee. I mean, his knee wasn't on his neck like that. I personally thought that was Kanye's own opinion.
Right. See,
but I don't know.
And so to my point, when I first heard it, the reason why I thought that whole aside in the conversation was about the Candace Owens documentary is because it was extremely specific. It was like, he was like, in the documentary they said this.
But then why would Nori apologize if it was just a documentary that he was referencing?
I mean, Nori, I feel like Nori apologized. That was whack to me. But I feel like Nori apologized just because a lot of controversy came from this interview, and he's catching a lot of flack from it. Yeah. People feel a whole lot of ways, and he's like, it wasn't my intention to offend people. I was just trying to give this nigga a platform to say stuff. Which, I mean, I guess
you can't give nobody a platform like that knowing that whatever comes out of their mouth is going to offend folks.
Can we say the real... Nori, Revolt, Diddy himself was probably like, you call me how many frauds you want to call me. As long as we run those numbers up, we good. Revolt, and that's Diddy's what? Don't Diddy own Revolt?
But they took it down.
But they knew what they were getting when they took Kanye. They already knew. They interviewed him before. He's been in the news. They wanted to capitalize on him again, and that's what they did. And it did not receive the backlash. That video will still be up.
And honestly,
that's why I don't think that's cool that they doing all this, being scared. No, stand on it.
And then on top of that, it's just like, Nori, it's called Drink Champs, y'all. So y'all can't expect Nori to really sit back and check somebody on what they're talking about. I think the amount of videos I've seen, I don't always see him like trying to check someone or stopping them from, speaking their mind.
But was he being here's the thing, I feel like I gotta check you, it's like, are you being disrespectful? It's one thing when you're being disrespectful versus I'm just stating an opinion about something. This is the way that I feel. So if you feel that way, what am I checking you for? Yeah. These are not my thoughts. I wish Nori would have said, hey, look, like you said, he was giving him a platform. He said he was referencing the documentary. He was speaking his feelings about the situation. I don't have anything to do with that. And it's not saying to pushing Kanye under the bus. It's just saying what it is. These are his thoughts. Not saying we honor those thoughts, but that's his own thoughts. Like, why am I checking you on that? That's how you feel.
People expect you, like, no matter what, if somebody's on your platform, because they're on your platform, they're like, all right, well, they were on there, this is what they said, but you could have.
It's not like the Ja Rule and the Herb, like
no, he actually did though.
I think he
actually. Yeah, I think like later on, it was like later on, because he had mentioned it. He said, I should have said something immediately, but like waited later on when I, said something.
In the interview, because he did it in the interview. He also did it outside, like a separate video days later and shit too. But I mean, he did, but more than I think was his point to argue with stuff that Kanye was saying. He wanted Kanye to just get out what he was trying to say.
Which is what they knew exactly what the purpose of bringing Kanye on.
I mean, honestly, that'd be the whole point of him doing these drink champs anyway.
He wanted people to say what they want to say. Because wasn't somebody, didn't they post up the day the interview hit? It was like, yo, this interview doing football numbers. I don't know, some celebrity did that. I don't know if Nori, somebody posted that.
It's funny because, I mean, the interview, it did beat out the NFL numbers. The reason why that's funny is because it was the Bears game versus the Commanders, which was like the worst football
nobody
game.
Was watching
nobody watching that. Okay.
I'm sorry, bro.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't want you to waste your time.
Who won?
I don't want to talk about that.
I ain't gonna front. Last Thursday would have been the perfect time for any fella who is in a relationship to be like, yo, babe, ain't no game on tonight. Let's just watch one of your favorite shows and go out.
I could have watched the movie.
No, like, but okay, so somebody, I don't know who posted that, but somebody was saying how it did beat out those numbers. So they was saying it was a good thing until the backlash came the day after. I'm telling y'all, that video will still be up. The backlash didn't hit, and I feel like y'all should have never posted it. If you really felt that way, you should never posted it to begin with.
Yo, you gotta really understand. It's these internet bullies, right? You have people to where they try to bully you into like either deleting something. You have folks that do like this post and delete thing, and it's just like, yo, just like you always say, stand on your shit. And I feel as though like you can't ever have nobody on the internet like make you like try to punk you.
Facts. You see this girl try to do that. I was
because
like,
the same ones on that internet trying to punk you. If you were to see this person in real life walking down the street, they're not going to do anything.
Different energy.
Yeah, like that energy would not be there.
And that's why I love Nori. I do. I think, but I just think that him revolt everything. Like if y'all really felt like everybody else felt, y'all would have never posted it in the beginning. Y'all seen how the whole interview went down, so that should have never went up. If they would have known, like, yo, this interview went kind of left, we can't post this, unfortunately. Like, then we would know it's genuine. But to post it and then to turn around the next day and take it off because of backlash, it looks a little suckerish to me. It does. It just make me feel like, oh, do y'all really have y'all own way of just being and thinking? Like,
if y'all look at Kanye differently, then hey, don't invite him on the platform to where he can speak.
They gotta invite him to these controversy. It runs the numbers. This is what this all about. This is exactly why they did it. Kanye is hot.
Anybody can be controversial though.
But it's Kanye.
Yeah, but I mean,
he's the target, right?
Exactly. Who else would it? And people at the end of the day, which is crazy, people really ain't gonna cancel Kanye. People watch that interview as much as I ain't messing with Kanye. They sat their asses there and watched it.
Listen, cancel culture is not real.
It is right. So I'm like, I don't want to hear all this crap. Because actually, like I said, Talib just said something about people still buying his shoes and all that kind of stuff. I'm actually going to read what he
folks
said
are still going to buy that. Like, nobody's not going to stop purchasing Yeezys. That's just what it is.
He got beef with it.
Of course not. So, like, but these are the same people, like, he's, this and that. Like, but they're going to keep supporting him. But I bet you drop another album, people going to listen to it. Y'all going to listen to it? But y'all didn't say y'all were canceling him either.
Y'all never said I was going to cancel him.
Yeah.
You can't. Cancel culture not real.
I agree.
The most you can do is just not pay motherfucker no mind.
That's a whole fact.
Talib said, this just got interesting. I will say this. This ain't just on Kanye. This is on us too. Ye felt comfortable enough to become at Real Candace Owen puppet and regurgitate her white supremacist propaganda because we kept giving him passes. Through the Confederate gear, the MAGA hats, and the anti-black statements and behaviors, we still play his music and bought his shoes. Well, not me, but you get what I'm saying. The collective we. And now our brother is faced with the possibility of losing a lot of what he has worked hard to build. If he wasn't calling this out in 2016, when he first won the MAGA hat, you are complicit. What y'all think about Talib's statements?
I mean, at the end of the day,
Joey bet he had something to say too.
I look at it like this. Like, no matter what, I don't think Kanye's numbers they won't drop drastically like that. Even if like the black community really decided, like, you know what, we're actually going to cancel him, he's still going to have white supporters. He's still going to have other supporters that's of different nationality, race, and all of that. He's going to have that. Mm-hmm. So it's not as if he's losing some. I mean, yeah, he's losing it because we as black folks, we love to look good. We love high fashion and all of that. So we like certain things that he comes out with. I don't own a pair of Yeezys. I don't think I will ever cop them. I'm not really a big fan. I like the
Adidas are comfortable. I
like the 350s. But do I see myself purchasing them? Nah. I'm not really a fan because that means I will have to get Adidas wear to go with them. Cause
I get some comfort in Adidas. You don't know what you're missing. Jordans ain't on that comfort after a while. Like the ones on my feet be hurting. But anyway.
I'm good with them. But but what I'm saying is it's just like he's still going to have a fan base. It might not be the full black community fan base, but he's still going to have a fan base.
Plus, can I go back? You like, I gotta buy Adidas, like you Nike sponsor or something like that. Like,
nah, just like Nike better.
That doesn't mean you can't wear Adidas.
You know how you do. You can't wear Nike.
You cannot. I hate when people do that.
No, I'm not saying you can't mix brands. Just saying you can have both.
That's what he meant. That's what he meant.
Oh, that's what you meant. Oh, okay, okay.
Like, nah, I don't, because that means I don't mix brands. Like, and I hate when people do that. I hate when I see somebody with like Adidas track pants with Jordans on.
Is this a fashion rule, like not to do? And there are rules to fashion.
Not to mix brands.
Yeah.
I mean,
but people do it with name brands like. I've seen people wear like Gucci and Fendi on, throw all that shit together, so you can
that's a bit extra. That's
people just kind of give that a little bit more of a pass because you know how they view these designer brands.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's all goofy to me.
But yeah, stuff like that.
Athletic gear you can't mix. Y'all heard that?
I mean, either you can't mix either one. It's just that one of them gets more of a pass.
And I think the designer does.
Yeah.
But Joey Badass also has something to say, and I actually 100%.
Shout out to Joey.
Shout out to Joey. He's done a great job in Raising Kingdom, by the way. Nelly is next week. I've been watching other episodes. Anyway, he said, I don't support anything Kanye's been saying and honestly been trying my best to ignore it, most of it, for my own peace of mind. But censoring his right to freedom of speech is whack. Asking him to come and speak on your platform and then removing and blocking the content because you don't agree. We can have healthy disagreements. And yes, Kanye can do a much better job at his delivery. You also said that, see. But it's the same old story. Magnifying a small piece of what he said and taking it out of context. The mass media needs to learn some new moves. It's corny and so obvious at this point. He went on to say, the internet is not a safe space. I knew I shouldn't have gotten into the Kanye web, goddammit. Every time, let's proceed. Like I ain't say a word about this matter. Carry on, people. How about this NBA season? And he also said, I don't delete tweets. I'm not pussy. I just bury tweets with more tweets until I get to a comfortable enough point to go ghost again, like now. Shout out to Joey.
Nah, but he has a point though. Like when it comes to that, but you really have to think though. Majority of the media is Twitter. Like it's social media, Facebook. Like everyone quits their day job to sit back and analyze what's like a 30-second clip could actually mean instead of going back to the interview and watching the entire thing to have a full understanding.
Don't speak on it.
Yeah. And I feel as though like a lot of folks don't really understand the media like that. I think for me, and I sit back and analyze the media. Why? Because I'm a communications major, so I understand the media. Like taking those classes and really sitting back and understanding, and actually has been very, very helpful because it's just like people get sucked in every single time. Every single time. Somebody can a white person can sit here and say fuck niggas and we'll have something else to it, like somebody came up to me and was just like fuck these niggas, but they took that clip because he's white, edit the clip, and now you just have this white person like, look, we are all right. We're
all smart enough to know that the media is going to take anything and spin it or any type of salacious.
Smart enough to know that? You can't speak for everybody.
Okay, let me
retract. It's a lot of folks out here that lack common sense.
You would think that the media does this, because you know how I know. You know how you see an article and you just read the title and then you see people comment. You already can tell they didn't read the article because you did. Yeah, so you know what they're saying has nothing to do with the article said, but you know because of the title.
They just want to jump on the bandwagon. It's just like, okay, yeah, I don't want to get sucked in, or I don't want people to hate me, so just let me join in on the train. I don't know what we hating, but yeah, we hate this. Like, bro, be your own person. I think a lot of people today, social media, like, you can't be your own person because folks
you feel like they scared, and you feel like an outcast. If you feel like you're not thinking like us, you against us, and you just feel it's actually called.
The wild part is you don't know majority of your followers that you have gained. So it's just like if you was to see them in person, you acting as if they actually gonna run up on you and do something to you. Like if you can't stand 10 toes down on who you are corny.
I see why I don't like that Nori did it. I understood why he did it. He has a platform that he ain't rapping no more. That's his bread and butter for the most part. Probably got some other ventures, who knows? But for the regular schmegglers online, who cares? Like, Stand on yours. I don't know.
Also, we do got to understand that there are many, many levels to this whole monster. It's not just about Nori being like, damn, I think we should take it down.
Mm-hmm.
It's so many people above Nori that have more of a say-so in this being up and being taken down than just Nori.
So you feel like they forced him to go on Breakfast Club and say all what he said? Or he just felt
No. I mean, I'm sure they had an influence.
Okay.
I'm 100% positive they had an influence.
If you were Nori, would you have done that interview?
Yes.
I don't know if I would have did it if I were him.
If you were Nori, I think you would have.
Because I feel like, maybe because of what he was saying, like, I understand
but
why
you don't know
what he's going to say,
right?
You don't even know what he's going to say.
What?
But you said controversial, right? Isn't that something?
No, not the Kanye interview, the Breakfast Club interview. I would have did that interview.
Yeah. I think you would have done that too.
I would just took down. I just would have took. They was like pressuring me to take it down. I would have took it down. That's it. But I wouldn't have went on a Breakfast Club and said all that stuff. I personally, it made it look kind of corny. I ain't gonna lie.
Why corny?
I just feel like, because y'all had intentions, like Joey said, y'all brought him on the platform, y'all knew what it was, only to kind of retract because it wasn't in agreement with the mass majority. But you all know Kanye. You knew what he was up against when y'all decided to bring him on the show.
I mean, this was part 3. The first 2 parts, they didn't have to do this.
But with Kanye, he's a liability. We already know that he's so unpredictable.
That's understood, but at the same time, still though, you don't just see niggas taking stuff Kanye said down off the internet.
Agreed, but here's my thing. Then, like I said, if that's the case, if y'all felt that strongly about it, take the video down. That's cool. But I would have went on the Breakfast Club the next day. I just would have let that be. Maybe had a little like instant IG whatever live. We had to take a little controversial and that's that. But I wouldn't have it. Almost like he was pandering and catering to the white revolt and everybody else.
That's why I said it's a whole lot. I mean, I put it to like this.
All just black folks running.
Yeah, I'm about to say. I put it to like this. It's a lot of shit that matters that we don't even know that matters.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably
so the politics maybe. Yeah.
I mean, aside from politics, power. And a lot of that stuff had an influence on Nori going on there and doing that. But that's what I'm saying.
He felt like he was in obligation too. I get it.
I mean, I'm sure he did. Like I said, it's a lot of stuff. Like forget him and his show and the people over his show and the people that over the network and the people it's a lot of stuff that plays in the part in there. And the whole reason why we can look at the whole play. The whole play is that if you look at any platform that Kanye would have been most welcome on to say whatever he wants to say, Drink Champs. In knowing that, it's almost your responsibility because you've created this lane for stuff like this to have Kanye on Drink Champs. Once you do that, especially because on one hand, it's like this is going to generate a lot of numbers and stuff like that. It's going to get a lot of views, whatever. Cool. Because after it does all of that, the people that's way above Nori that we don't even know or care about, they're going to be like, all right, it's cool. It can do all of that, and then once it does all of the numbers, whatever happens after that, I don't even care. We can take it down, we can keep it up, we already got it. That's why Nori is like,
and if that went like that, that's crazy.
I mean, it probably did. It might not have gone exactly like that, like to him directly, but I'm sure people way over him is like, we got what we got. And all the people down there, whatever.
And here's the thing, we have to consider: didn't they ask Kanye these questions? So they asked controversial questions, no?
I mean, they
didn't know what he was going to say, but they were prompting him.
It's more so insightful than ask. It's not like they baited him into saying the shit that he did.
No. I'm not saying they baited him, but they prompted him. I feel like
they asked those questions, but I know they're not going to challenge him. Like, say if he was on Breakfast Club, I feel like Charlamagne would have been challenging.
Will we have challenged him?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But again,
you know I would have did it.
Like I'm saying though, that's not Nori's platform.
Facts. Yeah.
Nori's platform is to get people on there and let them say what they want to say. So it's like, okay, Kanye, this happened, or you said this.
So to your point,
and that's what
if that is the case, then why are we removing it? That's the purpose of the platform, right?
And that's why I'm saying is people way above Nori that have more power.
Yeah, to those people, that's crazy to me. That's wild to me. This is the purpose of Drink Champs, and he did exactly what he always does, and what the platform is about.
It's a lot of questions.
The politics in the industry is just everything is just.
Don't
crazy.
have him back on.
It's a lot. It
will all die down, and everybody will be Kanye fans again.
Yeah, the same way it always is. We know that. But again, the point that I'm making is that it's a lot of stuff there that Kanye says and does and the way that he's reprimanded and stuff like that, it's often crazy, which I think is part of his point of doing a lot of the shit that he does. Because then it opens up those floodgates where it's like, should this even be possible? Just because he said this, and a lot of people don't like it, whatever, but the results of him saying that was this. What if that happened to a whole lot of other people in a whole lot of other different ways? Will we be saying the same thing?
That's a great question. That's what I want to know. Which kind of leads into my next point.
Yeah.
Well, how do y'all feel about George Floyd's family suing?
I wanted to address that too.
Oh, okay, I want to jump
no.
to $250 million for harassment, defamation, and it was emotional distress. I believe that was the basis of
what harassment was done.
That's a good question. When I see harassment, I was like, can you defame the dead? I guess you can, right? Just because they're dead doesn't mean
people do it all the time in rap songs, all of that. Diss tracks. This is what happens. But I feel
we can't like an illegal them. See, none of us are lawyers. Everybody on Facebook want to be a detective, therapist, lawyer.
That's what I say. Everybody knows everything.
Like they went to Streets University.
In real life, like nah, we official. That's your problem. And you said next to a author right here. Look at you.
Oh yeah, he did.
All slaughtered.
Let's see, he went.
Mixxeners ain't see that.
He went to Morgan, so they're in the streets now.
No.
But anyway, but back to that. Can you sue someone? Before we even say that, do you guys agree?
No, I agree.
That the family suing? Okay, why don't you agree?
$250 million is just kind of like, what is the money doing for you? Because he already said what he said, so the damage is still there. I don't think. What is the $250 million?
Some people said, hey, people can't be out here just saying anything and not expect consequences.
But at the end, freedom of speech, right?
They say freedom of consequence, right?
But also at the same time, again, my question to them is, what is that $250 million doing for you? Are you trying to? Is it actually damaging for you all, or are you just trying to get money? Like, what's more damaging?
In my personal opinion, I absolutely agree with you. That I think
what's more damaging here?
The lawyer for is George Floyd's daughter's mom. George Floyd's daughter's mom's lawyer said that they're doing this lawsuit to hold Kanye West accountable for what he said. Which brings me back to the point again where I was saying, is that what he's saying, or is he referencing?
But even if he is saying, let's say he felt that way, right? Because people can feel the way they want to feel. Why don't I hold anybody else accountable? Why don't I hold Candace Owens for the documentary that he was referencing to speak his opinions upon?
That's a great question. That's
because she don't have the money that Kanye has?
That's another great point.
So this is why people getting on me in the chat, the Facebook, because I was the only one who said that. Everybody was like, good, that's what he gets. You know, the consequence to what you say.
What consequence is that? Like,
we live in that era.
The consequence is because you're talking about fentanyl, his knee wasn't all that crap. Now you about to be 250
But that was apparently that was the stuff that was in Candace Owens' documentary. Remember, that was being said when it first happened.
But here's my thing.
They were saying that he was on drugs and all type of shit.
That's what I'm saying. It's been said 2 years ago, so you're going to go after all the whiteys and everybody else who has something negative to say or they wasn't in agreement? Like, who cares?
Like, that, it's crazy because, I honestly didn't agree with it because if it really affected you and your family that much, I'm pretty sure y'all could have found a way to reach out to Kanye and have one-on-one with him.
Said 2 episodes ago, pay it no mind. Why? Because they've been used to this rhetoric for 2 years now.
That $250 million is not bringing George Floyd back.
So it's not, but according to what C said, it's trying to hold Kanye accountable, but that is like, so you benefiting off of $200 million is holding Kanye accountable, or is it more of an agenda for you?
Holding Kanye accountable is, like we said earlier, stop supporting. But we know folks aren't going to stop.
Right, I feel like the family is just capitalizing on this. This is not holding Kanye. You suing him isn't holding him accountable.
Right, because he can still go out here and say something. It's and the funny, like, it's not to say that y'all are going to win this.
That's another point.
I was going to say that too. For sure.
It's outrageous.
Even if they settled for something, or even if it went to court and they won, they're not going to win $250 million. But I mean, again,
but for the fact that I don't know how it works in the legal system. Like, you go as high just to something that's reasonable. You may never even get to have.
It's like maximum amount. It's like maximum sentences. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. whatever. But I mean,
I feel like had the family came out and maybe made a statement or said something to that effect, I'm cool with that. But to sue, I feel like it's a personal thing, and I don't like it. I feel like it's a come up for money because they didn't sue nobody else for this type of money. I don't like it. So a lot of people agreed and said that's what he gets.
That's why.
But I don't agree.
The emotional response is what's the most, I guess, effective here on both sides, because the emotional response is why they can even do this. Why they can sue, why they can pull him from their bank, why they can take the video down. That's the emotional response. Mm-hmm. Because everybody, you appeal to the people who's upset. All of the emotions is like, all right, cool. But then the reality is that they shouldn't be able to pull him from their bank. They shouldn't even take the video down. And they shouldn't be able to sue him for $250 million for this shit.
For the fact that he said
they shouldn't be able to,
he wasn't on his neck like that.
They shouldn't be able to do all this stuff. But then to say that again provokes another emotional response. Oh, you defended this bullshit.
That's how people say it with me. I'm like, what?
That's a cycle. That's why
defending it.
That's why I always say you just kind of gotta not pay this shit no mind.
So when I said that, they said, so how can you tell the family like to not just pay this any mind? I said, well,
the same way that they haven't been paying any mind with a whole bunch of other people with a whole lot of platform since for the last 2.5 years.
I agree.
So
I need to see that. Is she going? Somebody on this? I said that.
I know damn well they don't think black folks are the only ones with a media platform that's on podcasts, and I'm pretty sure
that has been talking like this.
Exactly, and there are white folks out
here. The media, and for some of the media, especially you watch on Fox News, have been saying fentanyl and all this other kind of stuff. So come on, family, you can't go after everyone because they have something negative to say. We all seen it. We all seen the video. Mm-hmm. It was documented. It was played out in court. Cop got convicted. So at this point, anything else that's said about it, why do you give it power?
Right. Y'all already know the truth.
You already know the truth. You already know what it is. You've received, I think in my personal opinion, they received justice. So like, we did all of this, we finally, the cop is convicted. This is what we really want to see. And now y'all still we want to see because Kanye had, this one person had something to say. I can't rock with that. I'm sorry. I definitely disagree.
Yeah, I definitely disagree.
And I think they're doing what typical black people do. I feel like coming up like money on. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I mean, they're not going to win. They're not going to win that.
The fact that he even did it though, I just think that was so not cool. And by all means, again, it's not taking up for Kanye, but he can say what he want to say.
Definitely can.
He can say what he want to say, especially when you know. Well, here's my whole thing: when people know things aren't true, like why do you like?
Entertain
it, and that's just on a general.
Again, that's the emotional response. That's the whole point of a lot of media. That's the whole point of a lot of media and entertainment today.
You can't talk bad about me.
It's
not true.
Response. Like so everything is to pull that emotional trigger, and that's the purpose of whatever that we get. So that's why I say you gotta be stronger than that emotional responses, and you gotta play your fucking part in ignoring a lot of bullshit. Mm-hmm. A lot of people know better. Not enough people know better.
They just don't know.
There's a lot of idiots out there. There's a lot of people that are easily.
Oh no, you ain't saying right. You ain't saying it in a long time actually.
I'm gonna get to that. Okay. We already know they stupid. Trust me, there's a lot of stupid people out there. Mm-hmm. But regardless, you gotta be able to control emotional responses because they're everything that people doing is to trigger that emotional response. Mm-hmm. So,
and even I feel like in a way Kanye knows that too, which is why he says what he says. He knows that this is going.
That's why he does the bullshit first and then explains later.
Right.
Long way. That's been his MO for a very long time. That's why I say at the very least ignore it until he gets to the part where he's telling his overall point. And then you can be like, okay.
And he probably won't even get to that point if it's not generating that type of buzz. Mm-hmm. I feel like he gets into that after the fact. You see, okay, he's doing what I needed it to do. Now I'm gonna explain myself. Yeah. And I'm gonna get people back on my side. We're gonna do this all over again.
Yo, Kanye is kind of like an evil mastermind. Like he just be sitting behind. Like,
so manipulative.
The media, I got you right where I want you.
That is true though. He probably is like that.
And then just jumps on and it's like, well, you know, I actually meant it in this manner. You know, you guys just don't know how to open your brain.
So okay, so where do y'all think it goes with Kanye from here?
What you mean?
As far as like we said, we think it's going to be the same thing. Because we have a lot of celebrities that are speaking out against him now that we haven't typically seen before. I mean, now and again, but not to degree, right?
What celebrities?
I feel like we had Boosie, we had now Talib.
Boosie speaks out on
he speaks out on everyone, but
Boosie speaks out on shit that like nobody.
I don't think it'll be any different.
I
Really, I think
Boosie serious anytime. If it's not about Kanye or anything gay related, which I still think Boosie on the download, but whatever. Then Boosie don't speak out on anything else.
Man, people been speaking out on Kanye for a long ass time. It's going to be. It's just like this every time.
Ain't nothing gonna change.
It's gonna be like.
I think Diddy put a cryptic message, something.
Ain't nothing
I don't think anything. Too. I think everything's gonna be exactly the same.
Yeah. His closest friend is Hov. If y'all think Hov,
his closest friend.
If Hov can't even get in his head, what makes y'all think that?
I don't
y'all
even think Hov attempts to get in his head.
He probably does what everybody else needs to do. Ignore that man.
I'm sure I think Jay-Z does. I think Jay-Z does.
Like, I'm sure he ignores that man.
I think he does.
I don't know. He said Washington 2 on the way.
Kanye?
Yeah.
When did he say that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You make us suck his.
No, I ain't making it up. Sure.
Okay, well, but that doesn't mean because you work together mean y'all close. Y'all just do an album together.
Them niggas is close.
No, but I mean not close. Like I feel like you my right hand. Where I gotta be close as they used to be. That's what I mean. I don't think they're as close as they used to be.
Because they used to be close as hell.
Regardless, you can't control that man. We know that. Can't nobody control Kanye.
Damn.
Nobody. Like literally nobody can control Kanye. And that's cool.
Not his mother, but she was here.
Not even his mom.
Yeah.
Kanye said himself they used to disagree on a lot. But,
well, hey, if Kanye wants to speak his mind,
listen, man,
he can do what he chooses.
At the end of the day, we already know Kanye is going to speak his mind.
Mm-hmm.
There is no cancel culture, so he's going to always be able to speak his mind, and people are always going to listen just because they like to be emotionally triggered. A lot of people like to respond just because they like to respond negatively. Kanye is the easiest target for that.
Very much
also, there's a whole lot of stuff to what he does that should be ignored. But then there's a whole lot of reactions to the stuff that he does that should not be ignored. And so with all of that being said, I just want y'all to keep y'all guards up. Just look at the large picture. Me, I'ma just continue to keep these clippers to these heads and my ears to these streets. And we gonna hold it down like that.
There you have it, folks, man. This is episode 103. Like I said, man, we got a lot to look forward to. Not only with Halloween, man, trick-or-treating and all that good stuff and partying. Y'all be safe and all of that. And of course, we're going to have an episode for y'all next week. But also at the same time, man, so effing classy, a.k.a. so effing crafty, a.k.a. so effing glassy. Going to be celebrating a birthday as well coming up. So, we have a lot to look forward to, man. And it's still homecoming season as well. So, you got Howard celebrating their homecoming this weekend along with Hampton. So you have two HUs, which one's the real HU? They've been having that battle going on a lot. So, listen, man.
Oh, I gotta add one more thing in at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So recently, I wrote a chapter in this book, right?
Oh yeah, shout outs.
Big facts.
And it's a pretty decent book, It was just a bunch of former HBCU kings speaking about our roles as HBCU kings.
Do they reference you guys as kings in the novel, or this is just your own reference?
It's literally us speaking for ourselves.
I love that.
It's called the HBCU Experience, the HBCU Royal University Kings Edition.
Mm.
And your man's got my own chapter in there. The book ended up going #1.
Where can we find this?
You can find it on Amazon.
Okay.
I will also have my own personal copies. If you want a copy from me or get an autograph or something like that.
Yeah, let's see. We would love an autograph.
Listen, it was
personal autograph from you.
It was the #1 new release. It was the #4 college and university student life release and #8 college guide life. So. Quite literally, I am a best-selling.
I was gonna say yeah. So, do you want to pursue more books in the future?
Potentially, absolutely. This was a great start to that. Absolutely,
that's lit.
Awesome. I'm very happy for you.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
That's lit.
Congratulations.
That's lit. So now we got a new introduction for my mans. We got a new introduction.
What's that?
Chi-Town's finest, Carlton, you dig, aka best-selling author.
Oh. That has a nice ring to it, brother.
I do got a nice ring to it.
Excuse me, King.
Yeah.
Kings out here.
Listen, man, it's your big dog Kid 6, Chi-Town's finest, Carlton and Dig, aka the best-selling author, King's Edition.
All right, you said it right. Glad you made me do it.
Yeah, because you know you. Wait. You're right.
We like 10 takes.
Your girl Leah, aka the therapist, man, and always holding things down behind the scenes. Your girl so effing classy, aka so effing crafty, aka.
Is it glassy? See, look, I know exactly. But stop doing. Don't put me on the spot like that.
So effing glassy.
It was. See, I said it right.
AKA soon to be birthday girl coming up, man.
Happy birthday.
October's very young. Y'all know how she do, man. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen.
And the Mixx, and the Mixx, and the Mixx, Carlton, Leah, Kid 6, and the Mixx.